wonderful the products are that we have. What you see on this opening slide, and you're going to see this a lot because it means so much to us, you're going to see a link to the opening slides, and you're going to see a sign-in link there. Cammie or Audrey, if you could drop those links into the chat, that would be great.
Okay.
And then let's do next slide, please, Audrey.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, hold on.
No worries.
Okay.
No worries.
Okay. It really. Okay. It should be coming back up.
Okay. Just moving a little slow.
Slow, yeah.
Oh. I'll tell you what might be easier, Audrey. Can you make Cammie the host again, and we'll let her drive?
Okay. Hold on.
Cammie, can you drive from where you are?
And so how would I make her host? Okay, hold on. Okay, I just made Cammie. Okay, I made Cammie the presenter.
Thank you, Cammie. Can you show that slideshow, or do I need to? Is Cammie okay? There she goes.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thanks, Cammie.
And we'll start from right there. Thank you very much, Cammie. So here is all our call signs on social media. You have at NC Homebase, hashtag SchoolNet, hashtag Mises, hashtag NC Canvas, at learning.com, and facebook.com /NC Homebase. This is a great way for us to communicate with you in this digital environment we're in. And again, we've put on the bottom, because it's so important we know who is here, to put the sign in as well as the open slides there for you to have. Next slide, please. And welcome to Webex. When you're on Webex, please remember these few things. You have the QA, which is on the bottom, and that will only display to the panelists. Those questions only to the panelists. The chat is where you can discuss or have questions to everyone so that everyone can see. And we have a crowd of about 22 folks, so we may ask you to speak today. If you are asked to speak, please unmute your mic and say what you need to, and then mute your mic back. We do ask that if you are not speaking, please make sure that your mic is muted. Thank you. Next slide. Home-based meetups, I think, are one of the most important things that we do here at DPI. I think it's important for us to get out, share what we have with the field, as well as the field to give feedback to us so that we can make sure that we're moving in the right direction and giving you positive resources that you need to be successful in the classroom. Again, I think that third bullet's extremely important. We're eliciting feedback from the field to inform state-level decisions. Next slide, please. We have this agenda that we have created for the home-based meetups. The Welcome From Advisory will come under the product session, but you'll get updates from me from the home-based standpoint. Then you're going to have specific product information in the afternoon. And then with that, there'll be 1 CEU credit given as well. And there is the opening slide again. Next slide, please. And here is the schedule for the week. We had NESIS on Monday, SchoolNet. We had Power School today. We have learning.com today. Tomorrow is Canvas, and Friday is Go Open NC, which continues to grow and has become such a valuable resource to educators across the state. Next slide, please. Here is the calendar of events. You have November, that is this week. And then we have another meeting in February, the 15th through the 19th, and we have April 26th through the 30th. As you can see, we are all virtual right now. Hopefully that may change. You know, you never know, but we'll see. But right now we're planning on everything virtual. These are extremely important to attend. Please do. And then we are home base, which is part of digital teaching and learning in North Carolina. We believe that digital teaching and learning is doing a good job putting resources out there. So anytime I get a chance to speak to people across the state, I want to make sure that they are aware of these resources. You have the digital teaching and learning website. You have the North Carolina Remote Learning Resources and Information, and you have the Lighting Our Way Forward. These are all resources to help you in these non-traditional times we're in to get you what you need. Next slide, please. And I would be remiss if I did not talk about our home base website as well. This is where you can go for all information for home base, for all the products we have. Canvas, Go Open, Imagine Math, Learning.com, NESIS, Power School, SchoolNet. This is a great place to find QRDs, a great place to find training information, a great place to find all things home-based. So please make sure you frequent it regularly. And we are increasing our footprint on social media. We're having a lot of Did You Knows come out. I've gotten a couple today on my phone that I have liked. We have the slide example. You have webinars on, I believe, learning.com there on the bottom left. You have a Did You Know for Go Open that there's 11 hubs. I'm not sure how many people knew that. Then you have the Canvas guides out there to provide. And then you have NESIS, how do you handle remote observations? Very important thing to know right now. But our footprint on social media is getting bigger and bigger every day. Next slide, please. I would really appreciate it if you remember to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and follow us on Twitter. Help us get to 500 likes. If everybody who attends the home-based meetups all week likes our page, then we'll get to 500 easily. And remember, on Wednesdays, we have Did You Know, which we will talk about home-based topics and link to resources throughout the day. You'll be getting some home-based information. We think it's going to be really good for you all. Next slide, please. I do want to give some key information to you. Learning.com, which is very relevant to this call that we're on. Tier one funds will revert back on November 30th if they have not been spent yet. So please make sure that by the end of this month, those monies have been spent, or they will revert back to DPI. There are Imagine Math. We have 28 slots available. If interested, please email Dr. Carmela Fair. There's webinars this week and next week. This is a very good math solution that we think you can use. And I think over the course of this week, we may have filled a few slots based on the presentation we're giving here. So please reach out to us if you're interested in that. Next slide. Canvas funding, PRC 165 and 166. There's been a webinar recording that Pam Batchelor and Jill Darrow did, and I have linked to that webinar there where it says here. Click on here and it will take you to that webinar recording so you can understand what's going to happen with those funds. And then the Power School, the two big things for Power School are the core contacts in January and the upgrade to 1911.2.3, which we're going to go to in December. Next slide. And please make sure we are aware of who all your backups are. This is a great way for us to communicate with you, make sure we know, and then others out in the districts know who to contact in the event that they need information. Next slide, please. As you can see here, the slide decks will continue to grow. We have 4 up there to where at the end of the day yesterday, there were only 2. The Power School slide deck from today is there, and Audrey's dropped in the slide deck for today for learning.com. And tomorrow they will put Canvas, and on Friday go open. And on Friday, you can come back to this page, click on those links, and all those slide decks will be there. One thing it is important to know, you probably can't make every home-based meetup, even if you wear more than one hat in your district. Please make sure to review the slide decks and make sure to reach out to us. We're here for you, and we're here to help you. And we know that everybody's got a question every now and again, so please reach out to us so we can help you. Next slide. This is probably the most important slide that I talk about all day. And we are going to go from now until February before we see you again. And what we would like to do as a home-based team, we would like to wish you and your family a happy Thanksgiving. As I've been telling the groups earlier, I feel like everyone in education, especially, I know other employment opportunities as well, but everyone in education has been running a marathon since March, and it hasn't quite stopped yet. Hopefully that we can get to that finish line soon. But I think what we all deserve is a good rest of this week and then some time off next week to spend time with family. And I hope you get that opportunity to rest and enjoy the holiday and the holidays that are ahead. So thank you very much for all you do. We've all worked very hard. And finally, there is the great home-based team. Myself as home-based manager, Pam, Justin, Cammie, Tessa, John, Yolanda, Audrey, and Russell Dixon has joined us as well to help us with some SIS instances we're working on. And I also need to mention Dr. Carmela Fair. She is doing an awesome job working with Imagine Math and helping us with that product. So we need to make sure that she also is recognized for the work that she's doing with that product. Audrey, I'm going to throw it back to you. Thank you very much, and you all have a wonderful day.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and I truly appreciate your patience this afternoon. And welcome to the November learning.com for home-based meetups. Next, and as you can see, there's also, if you click on that, once you click, open up the slide deck, you can click on the slides right there as well, and you'll be able to go to the slide deck on that screen also. Just as Rob mentioned, the most important part of the home-based meetups is to network and for us to keep the lines of communication open from us to you and from you all to us. And we also want to be able to, through these home-based meetups, provide collaborative time, problem solving, and once again, networking. Next slide, please. The agenda for today is for the introductions. Again, my name is Audrey Long, and I am the DPI education specialist on the home-based team for learning.com. We'll have some updates from Digital Teaching and Learning, the home-based, and again, learning.com. And we have some speakers that I'm looking forward to hearing from for the Tier 1 highlights, Ernie Connor with Warren County Schools and Ron Schaefer with Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy. Then we'll have training with Tiffany Kinney, where you'll be able to earn 1 CEU. Then we'll do some networking, and then we'll also provide you an opportunity to get your certificate and also do a survey, do a feedback survey. Next screen. Again, my name is Audrey Long, and I am the DPI representative for learning.com. Next slide. And here are the learning.com vendors. We have Brian Rose is the SVP Business Development and Strategic Partnership for Learning.com, and Tiffany Kinney, who is the State Program Manager for Learning.com. Okay, this is just going over what's new for Learning.com right now. We have online training, which courses cover the fundamentals of the Learning.com platform and curriculum. They're designed as introductory or refresher courses so educators can seamlessly integrate the content into their classroom, even while teaching at a distance. And I'm just going to skip to the third one. And then we have 4 new remote learning lessons. These lessons, the first one, it navigates common virtual classroom applications, actively participating in online discussions and virtual meetings, practice good etiquette by respecting other students and the teacher, and also it goes over troubleshooting common tech problems, such as turning on their device or connecting to their webcam and audio, online training, and the new remote learning lessons. Tiffany Kinney will be sharing more information on the online training and the remote learning lessons later on in the presentation. And lastly, as Rob spoke, we have on Wednesdays, we have Did You Know? And Learning.com presents at 2 o'clock every Wednesday. It provides you with an update on what's new with Learning.com. So be sure to connect on your Facebook page at 2 o'clock so that you can see on Wednesdays what's new with Learning.com. And you can also connect to Facebook via this website here, the URL here. Next slide. We have a Padlet we'd like for you all to participate with to let us know, give us your good news, and also your successes, your challenges, and any questions that you have for Learning.com. So if you can take the time to go over there now. And I just entered that information just to say it's fall, y'all, and in fall, everybody, the big to do is pumpkin spice. So just, take the time right now, a few minutes to share any good news that you have. And again, your successes, your challenges, and any questions or any actions for DPI. And in case you're new to Padlet, you would just click on the plus sign to add any comments or any information that you want to add.
Okay, I did put the link in the chat for you guys, so make sure you open your chat. You can find it from your taskbar to open up your chat. And if you have any questions throughout the day, please put your questions in the chat.
I agree. We have survived until Thanksgiving. I've already started looking at all of the Christmas movies that's on. I'm a Christmas, that's my favorite holiday, Christmas. So as soon as the Christmas movies come on, I'm dead on it.
All right.
Great.
Go ahead, Audrey. Looks like we have some items coming in. I just want to remind everybody that if you like a comment, you can heart it, or you can add comments on other people's notes there if you'd like. And then I'll turn it back over to Audrey.
Okay. I was just going to say it's good to see we have a lot of successes being reported, and that's good to hear. Be sure that if you have any questions, like I said, if there are more challenges, or if you have any action items that you would want us to look into, please feel free to add it.
All right, so Audrey, since we're a little bit on time, you might want to go ahead and read out those successes, and then maybe we can address the challenge during networking.
Okay, the successes for Learning.com, they have been able to train all of our elementary teachers on Learning.com. Great, that's good to hear. Students are adjusting to remote learning, and we have implemented programs to help teachers and students. That's good to hear as well. Also, I have been able to experiment with new technology. Oh, that's good. That is good to hear. The challenges, they're still trying to find ways to connect our students to the internet. And we'd like to know what type of problems you're having with the students connecting to the internet. If you can expound on that just a little bit, maybe it might be something that we can assist with. Okay, and next slide. So last on the last home-based meetup in September, one of the challenges was that the kindergartners struggled finding letters because the screen showed capital letters, but their Chromebook keyboard only had lowercase letters. And we just wanted you to know that Learning.com has addressed that issue, and they have updated the letters to show as lowercase for the little ones. Okay. The next one here is showing that the Learning.com launches as of November the 3rd. And right now we had the total launches were 130,838. And the top 3 skills were keyboarding at 37%, online safety and digital citizenship at 33%, and computer fundamentals at 20%. And then as you can see on the screen, we did have some other launches, like I said, for common sense education, 2%, other was the computational thinking and coding fundamentals at 3%. And also business applications came in at 5%. So we've had a lot of launches, and so we're really glad to hear that. Okay, the next screen. And as Rob mentioned earlier, the deadline to take advantage of your funding allocations for Digital Literacy Initiative for the Learning.com is November the 30th. Those allocations would be under PRC 078, and those were, the funding was, you filled out a survey earlier. You were allotted that amount for student licenses that you had mentioned, that you had said that you would need earlier in that survey. So again, November the 30th, if you have not used that funding that is allocated in PRC 078, it will revert to DPI and utilized for implementation of the state's digital learning plan. Okay, next screen. Okay, great. We have our first speaker, from Warren County, Ernie Connor, who's the Director of Technology. So I'm going to turn it over to Ernie at this time.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ernie Connor. I'm from Warren County Schools. I appreciate the opportunity just to speak to you for just a few minutes about Warren County Schools experience with Learning.com. First of all, I would like to thank DPI and Learning.com for the partnership that we have, because in a tier 1 district like ours, this is critical. And I saw the tier 1 funds having to be spent by November 30th, and having these funds has been a lifesaver for us in the district that I work in. But I did want to say that we've actually had Learning.com for several years, 4 years, over 4 years now. This Learning.com was actually brought to me by a teacher, a middle grades teacher, that was very impressed with a demo that she saw, because it gave her an opportunity to be able to personalize her learning, because she had so many students in her class that worked at different levels, performance levels, and Learning.com gave her that opportunity. So we purchased it for this teacher. Our other teachers in the district, even though we're a small district, we do have 2 middle grade schools, and me being the CTE director, the CTE teacher is the one that came to me, and when she started talking about it and started using it, all of our teachers, all of our CTE business and information teachers wanted to use it. And we started with keyboarding, and then as time went on, we expanded to the other sequences, and all of our teachers really liked it and still like it today, because it does give them a lot of options of being able to assign lessons and allow students to work at their own level and not feel like they're behind. So that's basically how we started. Now, Learning.com's come a long way, and it's a great thing that they are adding and being able to listen to feedback, and they're able to give us a lot of the things that we have asked for and we wanted. Online safety, digital citizenship, word processing, now integrated with common sense media. So our teachers use this, and now that we were able to get the funding through this opportunity, we've been able to expand this out to all of our schools, and our schools really like it. We have integrated this with ClassLink, which is our single sign-on, so it's really easy for our students and teachers to be able to get to it. We've integrated with Google Classroom. So Learning.com has made it easier for us to allow our teachers, or to provide our teachers and students easy access to the program. And I really appreciate that, and our teachers do too. So I don't know, the people that are listening and on the meeting today, I don't know how many of you are actively using this, in what capacity that you're using it, but I can tell you from an administrator, when teachers and students like something, it makes my job a lot easier. And I get excited when everyone likes what we're providing and they see that it's easy to use, the curriculum is engaging, and it provides the skills that we want to provide, because the students like it. It works really well now with remote learning. The only challenge that we have is our very few students that we still have no access to internet in their home, and we're having to work through that. But that would be the case anyway, with any of our programs. Our teachers, they like the layout, they like the curriculum, they love the classroom management system, and I've had a couple of teachers to say that they don't know what they would have been able to do if they didn't have this, especially on the middle grade CTE courses, as we have worked through this remote learning. And I will say finally that leadership likes this program because of the reporting. You can get detailed reports. Teachers can get detailed reports on their students, principals, administrators, directors can pull data. And I don't know about the rest of you here today, but data drives everything that we do. And in order for us to justify what we're doing and make sure that what we are using is effective, we have to look at data. And Learning.com has provided a platform that allows us to do that. So that's basically what I have. I will say that on the elementary level, I didn't mention this before, that our media specialists are actively involved with using this, and then they work with teachers as kind of the technology contact at the schools to be able to show how they can integrate some of these lessons and things within their curriculum. So that's basically what I have. You can tell that I am now and have been for the time that we've been using learning.com. My district has always been an advocate for learning.com and really appreciate the curriculum and being able to use something that we feel has provided success for our students.
Okay, thank you so much, Ernie, for sharing that with us. We really do appreciate that. And next we will have Ron Schaefer with Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And again, I'm happy to be here to share our experience with learning.com. And I can definitely second everything that Ernie has just said. It's been a really, really good experience for me, especially this year. And this is our second year using it. And I'll admit, I was a little bit skeptical the first year. But during the second part of the year, especially going into the last part of last year, it became an invaluable tool for me. I'm the middle school computer science and technology teacher, and so I utilize this most every day with students in grades 6, 7, and 8. And I wanted to touch briefly on our schedule. Currently, our grammar school and middle school are on a hybrid schedule, and our high school is remote only. So essentially, I'm working with 3 different cohorts. We have a group that meets on Mondays and Tuesdays, and another group that meets on Thursdays and Fridays. And then we have our remote only group. And with Wednesdays off for makeup work, to do our cleaning, inside of our school, and just to, have one-on-one and office hours with the students. And so currently, with the 3 different grades, I'm using the online safety and digital citizenship modules for all the students. They have, access to social media that is just presents all kinds of issues. And so they need to learn a lot about how to be safe online and how to be good citizens. There's a lot of bullying. And so these modules, help us to understand, or help them to understand better what kind of behavior is appropriate online, and gives them some resources and tools to use to help if they are on the bad side of being bullied, and so that they know how to get help with that. And about 4 years ago, our school changed our technology for middle school a little bit to focus a lot more on computer science and coding. And so I had been working on and building up curriculum to teach that throughout, and for all of them. It's the unique position that we get a chance to teach all 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students computer science. And I think that's probably unusual for a majority of schools. And so I was really excited to see that learning.com had computational thinking and coding modules that we could use. And so we've been able to use those. And also, data analysis is part of computer science, but then learning.com has the computer fundamentals, the modules that we're able to use with spreadsheets and databases to help the students learn more about how to collect data and how it's worked and how it's used, in their real lives every day. So let's go to the next slide, please. And what I like about the learning.com platform is we have the skills check, and to start off some of the modules with. It's auto scoring. So in this time of remote learning and the COVID stress, with so much on our plates, that helps a lot to have the auto scores. It helps with planning. We can kind of take a look and see where a majority of the students are, and then move them into the lessons that best fit where they currently are with their skills. And it also provides an opportunity for personalized learning. We can skip some of the actual lessons with some kids and get them further along, so that everybody is moving at a pace that works good for them. A lot of the lessons also have auto scoring, and it definitely helps to save time as I'm looking over and doing assessments with them. And then some of the other functions on the platform, I have application exercises, and they provide a lot of real life opportunities to explore how these skills are used. One of them that we've been using recently covers some civics lessons, governmental algorithms, where coming up to the election, it was a good time to take a look at how bills are created and how they go from an idea to becoming law. And so we were able to learn a lot about that process while also relating how it is an algorithm that moves through that process. There's also applications for cultural lessons. There's lessons on disabilities where we take an approach to write algorithms and learn about processes from the perspective of someone with disabilities. And because a lot of the students don't have them, they don't understand often that other people have different needs than them. And so we're able to look at that and see things from other people's perspective. There's also some areas where we're covering economics and learning how money works and how to budget. Again, the students aren't the ones paying the bills in a lot of cases, so they don't know exactly how difficult learning those skills of dealing with money can be. And so again, we're using this in the context of writing algorithms and the processes. So that's been pretty awesome. And finally, another section we're using right now is for the coding fundamentals, and it uses application software connected with learning.com called Codesters. And I've been doing computer science and coding with them for about 4 years now and have used a variety of different platforms. And this one has by far been my favorite that I've been using for almost a year now with them. It uses the Python coding language. It does it in ways that makes it easy for them to understand it and see how it works. And so we've been able to basically expose all of our students in the middle school to coding. And while some of them don't really have a desire to be in coding or computer science, they see how it affects them in their daily lives and some of the activities that they do, especially with their online activities, how the different companies target them with the games that they play, the social media that they use. And so for them to see how it works in the background a little bit gives them a better understanding of how things work and basically how they can protect themselves going forward, even kind of relating that back to online safety. And so I've been real grateful for the opportunity to have this funding to put this into our school and to expose more kids to various parts of computer science, and then also been able to use the personalized learning aspect of this. And so when we're working with databases, there's modules on there that can show them how they work. And so again, I'm very grateful and hope that somebody finds this kind of useful as they're making decisions on what parts of learning.com that may be helpful to them.
Okay. I really appreciate the information that you shared, Ron, as well as the information that Ernie shared, because it's always good to know how, the tier ones, how that's learning.com is being used, and for you all to take the time out to come and share that information with us today. It really means a lot. And just like you said, I hope that the information that both of you all shared today, that it will be helpful to someone that's that's listening today, and that they will decide to go ahead and sign up with learning.com, and also to be able to use it. Maybe they haven't used it in the ways that you all have, but you've opened up those areas to them, and that will give them other ways to take advantage of the learning.com tool. So once again, I really do appreciate Ron and Ernie coming on with us today. And so now we'll switch it over to Tiffany, and she'll take it from here.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Tiffany Kinney speaking, And I am going to try to take control of the screen, Cami. So is there any way you can make me presenter?
Hold on. Maybe I have to do it. Give me just a second.
Try now. Try it.
All right.
Is she okay?
You are now a presenter. And here we go. Let me make sure I've got the correct screen. All right. Okay, now you should be hearing my screen, correct? Or seeing my screen and hearing me. Is that correct? Backwards.
Yeah, we see it.
10-4, that's good.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much. I just want to very quickly say thank you again to our partners at DPI, both home base and our DTL teams that allow us to continue to come back and present. And then also just another special shout out to both Ernie and Ron. We love to hear from actual users in the field, how you are using this in your district or your charter school. And so we just really appreciate you taking the time to prepare today and also just share out the different implementation methods that you're using in your schools. And that just speaks volumes. So thank you so much. Again, this is Tiffany Kinney speaking, and I'm the state program manager for learning.com. Today we have listening in is Brian Rhodes, who you also saw a little profile picture of earlier. But today I will be presenting on presenting some information, some new features and updates, and some of those Audrey actually already went over, so we're not going to spend a ton of time on that. However, we are going to spend some time on online safety and digital citizenship, because that is what our training will be focused on today. And you guys in the field will have a chance to go into our platform today and get some time to explore what we have out there. I know that both Ernie and Ron mentioned some of the online safety and digital citizenship lessons, so I want to make sure you have time to explore those, because I find that often educators, we have the tools that we need, but we just don't get enough time to play around and really see what's out there and what's valuable. So just want to make sure that we have some time today so you can go in yourselves to see what lessons we have that covers that fundamental skill. So to start off with, as a reminder, and some of these we have already sent out in emails or updates you have already seen in the platform, but as a reminder, with Techquest, Techquest Teacher Dashboard is now available, and so teachers are now able to monitor student progress and overall performance. So for those of you that are using the Techquest Teacher Dashboard, it is available and can be accessed in the new teacher experience platform. And I do have a screenshot to show you a little later with where that is. And then, as Audrey mentioned, our remote learning lesson or remote learning sequences, they have, that should say lessons, remote learning lessons, they are now complete. So those are, and we're going to make sure you know where those live as well. And there's actually some more content in the student help section that I will make sure that you know that your students have extra resources that support those remote learning lessons. And as Audrey mentioned earlier, those would cover anything from netiquette to troubleshooting basics for online learning, commenting, and also how to navigate these learning environments that we are navigating through now, like remote and hybrid learning environments. And then another great update to share is our expanded K2 lessons, and there is more to come with this, but the Intro to Computer Fundamentals is now available in the learning.com platform. I will make sure you guys know where that lives as well. This is great for your little kids, for your K2. I know that this is something that you guys have been wanting and waiting for, and so just know that that is our focus right now. We have now completed those remote learning lessons, and now we have moved on completing those, expanding our K2 lessons. So that intro video is now in platform, and the new K2 lessons are coming soon, and That also includes pointer devices, lessons on a lesson on pointer devices, and much more. And that was actually some feedback from DPI. We worked with them on some feedback on some of those lessons as well. So that should be completed pretty soon, and hopefully next time, definitely next time we'll meet, that'll definitely be ready to go. So just wanted to give you a heads up. And this is a screenshot of that new Intro to Computer Fundamentals. It can be found in your K2 computer fundamental lessons, and I'll make sure you know how to get there. All right. And actually, before we get right into online safety and digital citizenship, because that is, like I said, the focus today, I wanted to go back to this screen because this is I'm going to tie this all in right now. So as you see with Audrey shared earlier, the learning.com launches per skill this was as of November 3rd, and you can see the top 3 skills. And today we're going to focus in on this online safety and digital citizenship. So as you saw, as the data presented, this particular skill, as expected, is one of the most widely used skill areas. And so these are the skills instructions we would actually expect to see at this time of the year. So as we get further into the school year, we will probably see more emphasis on other skill areas, such as these business applications. So just wanted to give you a heads up there, but this is very common, not only in North Carolina, but across all our users. But today we are going to focus in right here to online safety and digital citizenship. As you know, it is one of the most widely used skills here. And actually, I think we would all agree that these are fundamental skills, no question. So let's go back. All right. So I would like to kick this off and just say that even more so now with our students spending more time online due to the current learning environment, it is vital that we teach our children how to protect themselves online. And I know Ron mentioned that as well, so I appreciate that, Ron. And as educators, I do think it would benefit all of us to understand the risk of the digital tools and be familiar with best practices to ensure the safety of our students. So my goal today is to show you what curriculum items we have available to utilize in your learning environments, and also include tips along the way to incorporate them into your daily lessons. So on the screen here, before we jump in live, I just wanted to highlight a few places where you're going to find those online safety and digital citizenship skills. Okay. So, we want to empower you to feel more comfortable teaching these elements, right? And so when you log in, you're going to have several different places. You're not only going to have it in the North Carolina remote learning sequences, and I do have a slide for that as well, but you're going to find these by digital skill. You're going to find them by grade pacing. You're also, once you drill into digital skill, you're going to have your own online safety and digital citizenship tile. And then finally, you're also going to have a lot of support here with online safety and digital citizenship with our common sense education. So that's our digital citizenship curriculum. And I do find I've done a couple of recent webinars on those skills, and I do find that the common sense education curriculum has become very popular, or is getting more popular with our media specialists as well. So let's say that if your district or your charter school it has embraced Techquest as a way to get started for your students this year to get started in using learning.com, that's absolutely fine. Just know that it does not include common sense education. So what I'm finding to be true is that some districts are opting to create a class with those common sense education items to supplement and extend out that content on digital citizenship. And I can show you how we can do that a little later. All right. So just as a reminder, online safety and digital citizenship, it includes but not limited to, information, what information should be shared online, common risk online, email, viruses, internet searches, and also digital identity theft, online bullying, cyber stalking, and hacking. And please remember that these lessons do start in kindergarten. Okay? All right. So we're going to go live. Like I said, I'm going to give you time to actually explore on your own, so you're not listening to me talk the entire time. Now, there's several ways you can do this. You can log in using your own account. That's absolutely fine. You are not going to mess up anything with what we're doing today. So if you rather log in through your platform, whether you log in through Clever, ClassLink, directly, you can use your own username and password. However, I did include our platform and also a demo user if you want to use just our demo teacher. So as a reminder, there's several ways to log in. Log in through a platform, log in through NCDPI if it's activated for your district or charter, or through Clever or ClassLink. All right, so I want everyone, give you a few minutes to actually log in. All right. So just a couple minutes, and it looks like, thank you, Cami. Cami has already put the link to the platform. If you, like I said, you can use my demo teacher if you would like, or you can use your own login. And as a reminder, if you've not logged in ever before, you will see the new teacher experience platform. And we're actually going to go back and navigate to the original, return to the original platform. Just know that the new teacher experience platform is not yet ready to go. We have not cut over to that yet. We have not given any training on that yet. However, if you want to take a peek at what the new interface will look like, that's absolutely fine. But we will be working in the original platform. So let me go ahead and get in. And I'll show you how to get back to the original platform as well. All right. Is everyone in? So if you're in the teacher portal, all right, and you were put into the new teacher experience that looks like this, okay, what you need to do is go back to the original platform by going up to account and return to original platform, and that's how you get back. So we are all in as a teacher. So as I mentioned before, I wanted to give you some playtime today. I'm going to talk a little bit before I let you loose, and to show you where all this content does live. So make sure when you're in the teacher portal, we're going to go to our library. So we want to click on our little library book at the top of our menu. And then, as I said before, you're going to see your North Carolina remote learning sequences. And as a reminder, these sequences are already in your platform, okay? And these are custom sequences, and these were built in a partnership with our partners at DPI and also with our Learning.com Hub members. So we had several Learning.com district contacts that worked with us through this to build this out. And this was based on feedback of what essential skills they thought our students needed to be successful in a remote or hybrid learning environment. So everybody has access to custom curriculum. There's been a lot of information sent out about that. But just as a reminder, those online safety and digital citizenship skills also live in these remote learning sequences. So if you just click on one, let's just click on 5th grade. I just wanted you to see that this also lives here, online safety and digital citizenship. So you'll notice that this is not all our skills that we have. This is not our full Easy Tech curriculum, but this was what was decided as being the focus. So if you have not started using Learning.com this year, this is one way to easily implement Learning.com in your district or charter school. You can definitely have your teachers go in, pick the digital skill that they want to start with, click view, and they can assign, if they have their classes already manually, let's say they've manually created them, or you're using the Clever or ClassLink integration, then you can assign the whole unit, all right? Or you can go through and assign them individually. We always suggest that with these remote learning sequences, just as a FYI, to assign them the way that they are sequenced, because they are sequenced in the correct order. So we do prefer you to assign the entire unit, all right? You also will see they do include those new remote learning lessons, which we're going to get to in a little bit. But I just wanted to show you that these also include some of the common sense education items as well. All right. So if you want just a really good start to your year and you want kind of like a sprinkling of what we have, these would be the way to go, or one way to go, because we have multiple implementation methods you can use. So that's one way, or one place you will see that digital skill. Now, I also mentioned by going by digital skill for online safety and digital citizenship. As a reminder, you as an educator can always view the lesson or curriculum item before you assign the students or to your students. So I'm going to click right here on online safety and digital citizenship. And then I'm just going to highlight here. We're going to come back to this prep for online learning. That's where your new remote learning lessons live, and they start in for 3rd grade. Okay. And let's go through a couple of examples before I allow you to pick one or two to explore. So what you would need to do is go through into this skill area, click a grade level that you may be most interested in, grade level you teach, what curriculum do you teach, click view, and then what I would like us to do here in just a minute, I want you to go through and look at maybe some of these lessons. For instance, like online safety and communicating online and bullying, you can always go and view this. Like I said, there's several different ways. You can view this before you assign to the students, but if you want to see more details, all right, let's say you want to see more details before you assign it to your students, such as like standards, keywords, estimated time, you click on that link. So here you can see the details. It should take your students about 15 minutes to complete this lesson. You have objectives, you have your teacher notes, categories, but most importantly, I want to point out your standards. So as you know, the North Carolina Digital Learning Standards are in full effect this year. The ISTE standards for students were adopted as the North Carolina Digital Learning Standards, and our lessons are already linked to those standards, so you can go through and expand on North Carolina. They are listed under technology education right now. We are trying to get that changed where it does say North Carolina digital learning standards. However, they are listed as the ISTE standards for students, which I know that they were adopted from. But you can go through and see how these lessons are tied to those standards. Okay, so just wanted to give you a heads up that I've heard from a lot of districts, well, gosh, how am I going to teach these standards with everything else going on this year? Well, just know that our items are already tied to those standards, and this is one way to see which of those ISTE standards it is they cover. So this one for the online bullying lesson is digital citizen, and recognizes the rights and responsibilities, and then it goes into your dot notations for both 4th and 5th grade. All right, so what I want you guys to do now, if you're navigating with me, I want you to go back to that online safety and digital citizenship tile. I want you to pick a grade level, or you can click a grade band if you want. And I want you to go through and choose a lesson or two, and L is for lesson, okay? And I want you to explore some of those items. So when we come back in the same theme of keeping students safe online, we're going to check out a couple other places where you can find these lessons. But I want to truly give you some time to explore and being able to ask us questions about what you see. So maybe scoot some time in for a lesson and make sure you view it. get the full student experience. So click view, and then you're going to press play. You can also play around with the settings here. All right. And then we're going to come back in just a few minutes and talk about what you've seen or any kind of questions you may have. Okay. So any questions before you get started? Any questions about the directions? So this is your time. All right, so I'm going to give you a few minutes. We'll come back and then talk about what you've seen, hopefully generate some discussions as well. All right. Have fun. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer those along the way. I'm not seeing any questions come through. Cami and Audrey, if you see any, please let me know. We'll give you just a few more minutes to explore. If you're watching my screen, I'm just showing you some different different ways to view different items. Right now, I'm looking at an application exercise. So just a few more minutes, and any questions, let me know if you see any, Cami or Audrey, or if we need to unmute anyone. So just a couple more minutes.
So, Tiffany, do you have your chat open?
Let me see. I may not.
I tried to enter a question in the Q&A, but it won't let me send anything.
Oh, okay. All right. So you were asking about Spanish, correct?
Uh-huh.
It should be. Yes, it is enabled. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And if you're watching my screen, I actually just pulled up a lesson, and then I went to the settings and enabled closed captioning for Spanish.
Can you show me how you did that? Because
I sure can.
In the lesson.
Okay.
And I did the settings for subtitles, and it shows the English, but it didn't show Spanish.
Okay. Can you give me an example of which one you're looking at?
Let me see what I did. I think it's second grade, Introduction to Digital Citizenship, Cyberbullying. And then I did view. And then I did the settings.
Okay. So this is one of our newest ones.
Okay.
Let me see. Give me 1 minute. So it does not look like it has it for that one.
Yeah,
And I know this is one of our, this is definitely one, give me 1 minute. This is actually one of our newer ones.
Okay.
And I was looking at the middle school grades. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to try English too. Y'all keep playing.
Yeah, English worked for me.
Yep, I can see.
Yep.
Well, I need to look into Spanish and make sure I'm looking in the right place, which I think I am, but I can definitely circle back to that. That is one of our newest ones. And that was, yes, well, it's going to be K2. So it would be K2 for that. So do all grades. Let's see if it had it here too. Okay, let me check into that, Cami, about the Spanish subtitles for that.
Okay, thanks, Tiffany.
And that could be something that I might have missed that's coming, since it is a new lesson.
Okay, thanks.
I'll make sure I'll write that down. Any other questions, you guys? Hope you've had some time, and I'm gonna put that in my questions. Spanish. Any questions, other questions? And Cami, I should be looking at the Q&A, right, in the chat. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've been using the chat more than the Q&A, and it doesn't look like Q&A is really enabled. It's not letting me enter anything there.
Oh,
so maybe it's because I'm a host, but.
So Brian just confirmed. Thank you, Brian. Spanish is coming. So development team is working on that. Okay. Thank you, Brian.
Thanks.
So if you clicked on one of the brand new intro lessons, Spanish is coming. Thank you. All right. So any other questions? And if you see anything too, Cami or Audrey, just let me know before we move on.
Okay, we do.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to keep moving on unless there's any questions. So that's one spot I was talking about. And let me go ahead and present. Here we go. All right. So you've already seen, and I'm just going to touch back on this, that one of the skill areas that is covered in the remote learning sequences that was developed in a partnership with DPI and our learning.com hub group members does include online safety and digital citizenship. So this is one of those, these were earmarked as an essential skill for students to be successful in a remote learning environment. So, and again, you saw that there was also common sense education items that can supplement that curriculum as well. All right, so more on those items a little later. So just know with the remote learning sequences, I know that I heard Ron earlier say, you know, he really likes the skills checks. They're auto-scored curriculum items. He really likes that. It saved him a lot of time, especially with being in a hybrid learning environment. Just know that the remote learning sequences, the North Carolina remote learning sequences, not to be confused with remote learning lessons, because we have those too. It does include both teacher facilitated and auto-scored curriculum items. So they do take a little more involvement for the teacher, but works very well in all learning environments. There's many different ways to incorporate those discussions in the online environment, and also with the auto-scored curriculum. And I say that because when I get to Techquest, it's completely different, and then we're going to talk about that in just a minute. As a reminder too, we do have a North Carolina remote learning sequence or pacing guide if you're interested in getting started that way. And we do have the North Carolina digital literacy brief and the communication that went out from DPI, I think goes back in August when these were released. So just know that I've included all those links, best practices, use those sequences as designed. So if you start with online safety or you start with multimedia or keyboarding, just go ahead and make sure your teachers are assigning the unit. Remember, with these units, they're already pre-made, but your teachers still have to assign the unit to their classes, okay? So just wanted to give you a heads up with that. And also, this North Carolina Digital Literacy Brief is great if you have not had a chance to get started this year. I have talked to several districts that said, you know, Tiffany, it's just been a rough start to this year, which is totally understandable. We plan to use this in second semester. I would highly recommend you take a look at the North Carolina Educator Digital Literacy Brief that we've created. And this is just going to be a really great, like, one-page document to share with your educators on how to get started with learning.com. So options for signing in, teacher setup guide. There's everything's linked out to how they can get set up very quickly. If they are looking to assign curriculum and maybe use the remote learning sequences, it gives directions on how to do that. It also talks about briefly about the remote learning sequences and online training center that we have available. So this is just a really great informational document to share with your educators if you guys maybe you want to expand your usage in your district. It's just an easy way to share out that information. All right. And then, of course, earlier you also saw how to get to our North Carolina Digital Learning Standards in our platform. I have also put those that navigation path there for you at the bottom left-hand corner. So you know that you can also go to your library and find by standard, okay, and get to those ISTE standards for students, which are your North Carolina Digital Learning Standards, okay, which were fully implemented this year. All right, Techquest. So if you've been in the platform and you're looking for a Techquest tile, you're not going to find a Techquest tile. This is very intentional. Techquest is completely a student-led experience, okay? Now, I've had a lot of districts say that they were interested in Techquest. It is a slightly different, of course, from the North Carolina remote learning sequences, because Techquest is all auto-scored items, and it does take the barrier away from the teacher to have to assign curriculum. It's like, honestly, it's like magic. That's how I describe it, because these are great appropriate paths of auto-scored lessons. Like I said, they're all auto-scored and corresponding skills checks. So if you want to still track progress with your students on those skills they're learning, you still can do so using Techquest. Now, this is a feature that delivers those technology skills that are essential to our K-8 students without teachers needing to manage classes. So only thing your students need to log in, or excuse me, to get started with Techquest is to log into their learning.com account at login.learning.com or Clever or ClassLink. They have an assigned grade level and they get started on their path. I have listed out those digital literacy skills here, and those do include the online safety and digital citizenship skills. And by the way, they start with the new remote learning lessons starting in 3rd grade and go right into online safety. So they start right off the bat, and those are, to us, essential, right, for the kind of learning environment through the pandemic that we're navigating right now. So every student that has a learning.com account is automatically assigned a Techquest. All right. Now, I've had some recent questions come in. Well, how do I know what my students, if it's completely student-led, there's no tile in my library, how do I know what they're working on? Well, we have a Techquest curriculum sequence. Excuse me. This is linked out to our support site, and we have all our pacing guides here. So you can take a look at those full curriculum pacing guide. We also have our curriculum sequence here, Techquest. But let's click on this because I've had some questions about, well, how do I know where my students are, what they're learning? And this was actually just revamped very recently. So here we go, kindergarten. You can see this is Techquest. It's going to show you what this looks like. You can actually click on these links to see exactly what these curriculum titles are and what the lessons look like. And this is for new teacher experience in the platform, original teacher platform, which is where we are right now, if you're using Google Classroom, and also Spanish. Okay, so you just click on the grade level. Let's say that you're working with your middle school students. They're going through Techquest pathway, and I want to see the lessons they are working on. And again, remember I said that starting in 3rd grade, they're going to always start with those remote learning lessons, which we call prep for online learning, and then go right into online safety and digital citizenship. Look at 2nd grade. Let's talk about our little kids. Those remote learning lessons are not there, but it starts with online safety and computer fundamentals. This is just so I can show you how many times or where exactly online safety and digital citizenship lives, okay? And topics include, in order to be a successful digital learner, they include online safety and digital citizenship. There's keyboarding, word processing, internet usage, and online communication, coding, spreadsheets, and presentations. All right, and this is all through the new gamified experience. And our students are really loving that. We've had great feedback on that. So another common question I've had too, and actually, how about this? I'm going to show you. Another common question I've had is, well, you know, I really want to have, I want to extend some content. I want to add some discussions or application exercises, which, by the way, I do think is a smart idea, because in that way, your students are really expanding on what they've learned through those auto-scored lessons. Remember, Techquest does not have any of those applications, exercises, or discussions, or common sense education items. So if you really want to take a deeper dive and make sure they are really mastering what they've learned, and let's say the teacher just wants to enrich the content even further, this is a way to use it. So I'm just going to log in as one of my demo students, just in case you haven't seen Techquest. And I want to show you that Techquest can coexist with both a manually created class and Techquest. So that is the teacher class here, Kenny's Digital Skills Practice. The manually created class will always begin or always show up first in the list, okay? And then you've got Techquest. Another question I've had is, how often do I need to use Techquest with your class? I can give you the recommendations right now. Independently, your goal would be maybe twice a week, 15 to 20 minutes. You could use this as a bell ringer activity. You could just assign it as saying, hey, any day, 15 to 20 minutes. You can also use, if you're back, let's say face-to-face, you can use this in centers. Let's say that you don't have devices for all your students. You can use this remotely, of course, because this is available 24/7, so you have access anywhere, anytime, okay? With your littles, what you could do is pull up this pacing guide. Let's say that you say, well, my students, you know, they're really struggling. They're in kindergarten, 1st grade. You can always do like a little preview with them. Let's go to kindergarten. And remember, as a teacher, you can view this as a student and share this. So let's say Intro to Digital Citizenship Cyberbullying. You can share this. Oh, well, you know what? It's asking me to log back in as a teacher. Sorry about that. You can share this out and you can actually view this together. Okay. And then have a discussion about it. There is many different ways to incorporate this and to use these lessons. And I don't want your current learning environment to be that that barrier. So you can actually share this, and then you could actually do a flipped classroom idea as well. You can say, hey, I want you to watch this video, and then we're going to come back and talk about it. Or you can view it together. All right. So different ways to really to work this into your learning environments. All right. So let me pause there. Any questions so far? I'm going to check the chat area. I am not seeing any. Okay.
I don't see any, Tiff.
All right. Thank you so much. And then again, as I mentioned early on, our Techquest teacher dashboard is available. So you can access and see how your students are performing. Let me reiterate, if you haven't started using learning.com this school year, it is okay. I have some districts that said, hey, it's going to be November, December before we get started. The easiest way to get started, if you want completely like hands off with your teachers, will be Techquest. If you want some pre-made sequences, we have a lot of those, as you saw in our curriculum. But if you want to start with the North Carolina remote learning sequences, that has a little bit of a sprinkling of everything with your common sense education items and online safety, you can do it that way as well. But Techquest would be the more quick. It's a quick approach because it's completely student-led. Okay. But as a teacher, you need to know that you still can monitor progress through the new Techquest teacher dashboard. And you do have to go in through the new teacher experience, and I've given those directions here. All right, woohoo! Common sense education. So really excited to share about this, and you guys are going to have a couple minutes to look through this as well. Common sense education, the digital citizenship lessons, lesson plans, they are integrated with our existing learning.com curriculum, and they do include grade-specific lessons at each grade, and that's actually K-12, okay? Now remember, only your K-8 students have access to learning.com, but we do have K-12 lessons, grade-specific lessons, all right? So just know that these are the 6 core topics of digital citizenship that Common Sense Education offers within our platform. So we got the media balance, privacy, security. I'm not going to read all of these. Cyberbullying, relationships, communications. Now, some key points. We're going to go back into the platform. Let me go here. Let's go back in as a teacher. Let me exit out of here. Make sure. Got a lot of windows open. So give me 1 minute. We're going to go back to our library to get to Common Sense Education. And whoops. Had a feeling it was going to kick me out. We're going to go to the library tab. Remember, we do have some Common Sense Education items sprinkled throughout the custom curriculum. We also have it in grade pacing as well. But by digital skill, it has its own tile. So let's say you're using Techquest, you guys, and you want to create a manual class that has, let's say, you want to focus on digital citizenship. We just went through, what was it, Digital Citizenship Week about, was it a month ago already? And we were promoting Common Sense Education because there's so many great lessons in here. Now, these lessons are facilitated by the teacher. Okay, that's a key point. These are facilitated by a teacher. But what's great, if you just drill down into one of these, let's go into cyberbullying. You're going to see we've got, of course, our titles. You're going to see we have individual student videos that you can assign out, how long it takes for this lesson or this video to view. You can also, remember as a teacher, view it before you assign it. Now, what's really cool, let's say that, let's go to, let's see, let's do digital drama. How about that? I'm going to click on this one to view. It's a 6th grade. Again, it's by grade level. You have a details page that pops up for the teacher. Now, if you haven't seen this, you guys, this is amazing stuff. So you have not only key vocabulary, all right, so de-escalate, digital drama. You also have a step-by-step lesson plan, all right. So, and it also gives you another option. You don't have time for a full lesson. Okay, let's do 15 minutes. Let's do this quick activity. It shows you warm up. It tells you exactly what to do and what slide corresponds with it, what to ask. And I'm telling you, our media specialists are loving this, by the way. All right. Those that are actually still able to teach right now, because I know they are being pulled in many different directions right now. So to access the lesson slides, what I love here is you have all these resources to the side. You have your lesson slides, English or Spanish. I'm going to open those, and they open in Google Slides. All right, it's coming up. So here you go. As a educator, you have access to all these resources. You have access to the slide deck, so you can share this out, whether it's face-to-face, excuse me, face-to-face, or let's say that you are virtual, okay? You definitely can go through this slide deck and do a presentation just like I am, right? Maybe you're meeting on Google Meet. Maybe you're meeting on Zoom, whatever platform it is your teachers are using, okay? It starts with an essential question. It has your learning objectives already written out for you, group discussions. You can always utilize this or integrate this with maybe, you know, you want to put some of these questions in your learning management system, whatever you use. Talks about your key vocabulary, and then it has a student video. The student video is embedded in these slides, but just so you know, you guys, you can actually assign just the video to your students. Let me see if I can do that. You can assign, I've got a lot of things open here. I've got to get to it. Keeps on. All right, give me 1 minute. This video can be assigned. It keeps on letting me, it keeps, that little, it's not letting me click on it. Here we go. Ah, yay. All right, sorry about that. It's how I'm presenting my screen. This video you can assign to your students individually. You can also view it before you assign it. So I'm going to go to view, and this student video, like I said, you can assign this. And let's say that, you know, when this lesson, you should know when a lesson is assigned, when a common sense education lesson is assigned. Students are only going to see and respond to a short, usually 3 to 4 question auto quiz. But a teacher can assign a video to students as a curriculum item. So you saw how that video was separated out, and they complete an exit ticket at the end of each video only item. So if you were to view this as a student, all right, then you would have an exit ticket at the end to answer questions, all right? So just wanted to give you a heads up that you can just assign the video. Let's say you can flip the classroom that way. You could assign the video and say, okay, 6th graders, I want you to watch this 4-minute video. You assign it to them on digital drama. And then as you as a teacher, after they viewed that video, you could then go through your lesson slides, right? And they've already done this part, okay? All right, or you can give them the activity, or you can skip right to the activity. Many different ways to use common sense education, all right? But I wanted to let you see where that lived. Let me click out of that. All right, so what I want you to be able to do now, I want you to take a few minutes, make sure you're logged in. I want you to go into Common Sense Education. I want you to pick one of these topics, and I want you to go in and at least view one of the student videos. It just takes a couple of minutes. Definitely look at the lessons if you have time. Go ahead and view them. All right. You can see more details too by clicking on the hyperlink in the objectives. And then you could see here, this is a discussion. I'm going to view, and it's going to pop up that detail page again. All right. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to explore. If you have any questions, please let me know. Let's come back in about 3 or 4 minutes and you guys explore some common sense education items.
Hey, Tiffany,
Yes.
while they're exploring, there was a question that came in.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. I'm having a hard time
Yeah, I
seeing the
saw it late
questions.
too. This is actually in the Q&A. Looking for the brief on the one page you're forgetting the teacher started.
Oh, okay. Yes. The one pager. Oh, yes. That is on the slide.
Yeah, you can do it after training if you want. I just want to let you know it was out there.
Yep. Doo, 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 doo. Which one was that on? Okay. Carolyn, that was on slide 18, and it's right here under supporting resources, North Carolina Educator Digital Literacy Brief.
Okay.
And I can actually
Put the link in the chat. Maybe.
put the link. You're right about that. Sorry, I somehow missed these questions. Actually, it won't let me send it.
Yeah, it's weird. You have to click on her question first.
Oh, you're right. There we go. But it is in the slide deck too. And I did just send it.
Cool. Thank you for answering.
Thank you for heads up on that. All right, couple more minutes to look through, pick a lesson, look at the lesson plan, look at the video. The videos take a couple minutes. For the little kids, it even has a coloring book, song lyrics, a poster, have family activities. I mean, I just love, love, love this curriculum. It's a great partnership we have with them. There's a family activity right there. All right. Okay, so to wrap things up, I would like to hopefully generate some discussion. And now that you've had some time to explore some of these items, and a couple of questions I came up with, and I would love for you to share out through, it looks like the Q&A or chat, whichever one works. But what are some ways you can incorporate? Let's start with question number 1. And I'm sure we can unmute you, right, Cammie or Audrey? We can unmute them if they would like to speak out. That would be great. What are some ways you can incorporate learning.com discussions in a blended learning environment? So, you know, are you using discussions? And they could be through Common Sense Education. But what are some ways you think you can incorporate those? We've spent a lot of time, I focused this year on lessons because they are auto-scored. But remember, we have those discussion items too. So what are some ways you may be able to incorporate those discussions in a blended learning environment? Anyone want to share out?
So yes, please just put in the chat. Audrey, you're going to have to be the one that can unmute people, I believe. I can't do it if they're already unmuted. So,
Okay.
Yeah, so just if you'd like to be unmuted or just, you know, share.
Share in the chat.
That's right.
Quiet group.
I hope I didn't bore them to sleep today. You know, and I can start with some of the ways I've heard, and then maybe that will help help start the discussion. But you know, just like today, students putting answers in chat, right? So you're in a blended learning environment. And you are trying to get your students to actively participate in discussions, right? So they could put their answers in chat, just like we do here. We have modeled today how our students can do the same thing. Another thing I've heard about was, you know, maybe students that do not have really great keyboarding skills. But they can write answers on paper. It could be a yes or no question, right? They can hold it up to their webcam, to their camera, so their teachers can see, right? Or whatever their answers are if they're having trouble with typing skills. So, and of course, we have our keyboarding lessons to help with that. And then think about your older students. You can definitely, and I actually shared this earlier, you can put these questions in your learning management system. I know that some of us are using Canvas or another learning management system, and you may want to put some of these questions in a discussion board or a forum, okay? We do have a lot of districts and charter schools using Google Classroom or some kind of form of Google. So maybe putting them in a Google Doc or a Google form. Any other ideas? You guys are being quiet, so I wanted to help kind of stimulate those brains right now. And I know it's after lunch too, so it's a hard time to keep focused too. Any and I don't see anything coming through.
No, I don't see it.
Well, we're going to move, just because of time, let's move on to my next question, and let's see if we can get some responses. Or Cammie or Audrey might have to start calling on people. How can you utilize common sense education in your current learning environment? So this is really one of the first times we've had a chance to really explore. We've been talking about common sense education for that partnership for about a year now, but now that you've had a little time to see what's in there, and kind of the lesson details and the step-by-step lesson plans, the slides, everything, how do you think you can utilize common sense education in your district or charter school in the current learning environment that you have? Please share out. And Cami and Audrey, if you see anything, let me know.
So I don't see anything coming in.
Okay.
Ron, is this something you use in your district? I think Ernie had to leave us. I don't see his name. So is this something you use, Ron? Schaefer, Mr. Schaefer?
Hey, I'm still here. Yes. I have not used the common sense education yet, but I just watched one of the short videos. It was about just under 4 minutes, which is a great amount of time to show a video before they lose too much interest. And it was, with real life middle school kids. And I'm actually thinking about using some of that coming up now. So I think having the discussions on them, I use the question on Google Form or Google Classroom each day. And so this has given me a bunch of new questions. I can do that. And then I like for the students to have and I hate to use the A word, the asynchronous discussion, when they can in the comment section of that question. But they have enjoyed doing that with some of the questions. And I think just to utilize some of the questions that are available in common sense education is going to be pretty awesome.
No, that's a great idea. Thank you, Ron, for sharing that. Yeah, I mean, why reinvent the wheel? Questions are already there. And like I said before, you can create, you can add this to your already created classes, right? You can assign those videos and then have those discussions. Or if you're using Techquest, if you're a district or a charter using Techquest, you can assign common sense education items, and you're still going to be able to see how your students are performing because they're going to have an exit ticket at the very end. They're going to have some questions, a few questions at the end, like a little quiz. So yeah, Ron, that was great. Thank you for sharing. All right, anyone else? Well, I do hope that you were able to think about how you can use this. I did have one slide and we've talked a lot about this, just wanted to kind of, wrap this up with our remote learning lessons and what we have. We have sent out several communications about our new lessons, and I have listed those here for you. And also, one thing you may not know, because this is student facing, and I have linked all those resources out for you so you can see them as an educator as well very easily by clicking on the link. But the new resources available in the student help section. So when your students log in to learning.com and they're, third grade and up, right, they're going to have those 4 new lessons that we keep talking about, right? But they are also going to have these documents here, or the infographics, as I call them. So there's one for tips for success in online learning environment, getting ready checklist, tips from your teacher, netiquette, and also troubleshooting. I'm just going to click on one of the newest ones. Let's do getting ready. Again, just a really fun infographic for your students and to remind them, hey, am I connected to the internet? Is my device plugged in or charged? Can I concentrate? So some questions that your students will be able to ask themselves to see if they're really ready to focus on online learning. All right. I've linked those out, but again, those are in your student help section, and I've put a little screenshot here for you. And that, again, is supplemental resources for those new remote learning lessons. Again, if you want to go and have some time, I would love for you guys to, I know we're running short on time today, but to get to those remote learning lessons, go back to your library, and at the beginning of the presentation, I showed you that it's under by digital skill. Right now, it is under online safety and digital citizenship, prep for online learning. If you want to go through and look through those, you can see that they go from 6 to 10 minutes. And go ahead and view those, and they are marked new. They are ready to go. So these are already a part of, they're in our, not only our Easy Tech, but they're also in Techquest as well. All right, so just wanted to give you a heads up. Please, I would love for you to have some time to go through those. It does ask, this is Trey, one of our new characters, and students have to answer questions at the very end, and they are scored appropriately. All right. And Audrey, I already mentioned this too, Online Training Center. Remember, learning.com, if you need training for yourself or your staff, it is completely free. We are offering virtual trainings, of course, via webinar or recorded webinar. But we also have Online Training Center, and this is a complete self-paced course that your educators can go through. And it provides those online videos and support articles, and they can go through learning Easy Tech at their own pace. So it takes about 2 hours to complete. That information is back on that literacy brief as well. It shows how your your educators log in, and they only use their learning.com login to access. So there's no new password or username they have to remember. But this is just a self-paced course. So if you don't have time maybe for training, maybe your teachers need a refresher course on this and need to do it at their own pace, this is a great way to do it. And then I think ending with our support resources, we have our webpage, but our support site, please bookmark that, support.learning.com. That is where you can go for all our, we have videos there, instructional videos. We also have support resources. We even have a spot just for getting started. So at our support site, getting started for teachers and coordinators, and even parent resources. And very easy to follow directions here, and also related videos. It looks like some of them are being updated as well. But these support articles are great. And then our support team, of course, we have our support team is available 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can email them or do a live chat with them if you're having any technical issues. And I forgot, Audrey, to add one thing on the slide deck, so maybe we can add this. But as a quick reminder, we do have the learning.com needs assessment survey, and I should have added a link to the presentation. I do apologize. If you have not, you should have received, if you're a district coordinator, you should have received a link to the learning.com needs assessment survey. And we're asking that our district coordinators complete this survey to really help drive professional learning and resources and communication methods for our North Carolina users for the remainder of the school year and into next, really. So if you will take about, 5-7 minutes to complete this, we would be very appreciative. The survey will close on Monday, November 30th. All right. So you still have some time, but you should have received an email from me with the link to this, and we can go back and add this to the slide deck so you can be reminded. But if you have any questions, please let me know. We have had several people already answer the survey, so I do appreciate you taking the time. But this is really helpful because it will also show me what topics you are mostly interested into. So what I'll do, I know that we are rounding it out right now. So as Audrey comes back on and wraps things up, I will type that bit.ly into I think the chat area. I should be able to do that. But I just wanted to again thank everyone for listening in and participating today. Also, a very special thank you again out to Ernie and also Ron for sharing how their schools are using learning.com curriculum. And thanks again to our partners at DPI. It's always a pleasure to work with you guys and continue our partnership. But thank you so much. I know it's a very busy time of the year. And to reiterate what Dr. Dietrich said, have a very happy Thanksgiving, and, you know, have a safe and healthy Thanksgiving as well. And just take that time to hopefully relax and enjoy time with your family if you're able to. So Audrey, that's all I have, but thank you so much for this opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Thank you again, Tiffany, for sharing all that wonderful information with us. And again, like I said, the purpose of the home-based meetups are to network, not just from DPI to the field, but also the field to DPI. So anytime you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us regarding learning.com, and we'll be quick to assist you. I just wanted to make sure that just in case you didn't see it in chat, Brian did say that the development team is currently working on the Spanish language for closed captions. Next slide. Again, I just wanted to also give a special thanks to Ernie Connor and Ron Schaefer for taking time out of their busy schedule to share how they are using learning.com at their schools. And again, we appreciate it. We might just reach out to you all again in the near future to ask you all for, you know, just to share with everyone about the information on how you're using learning.com. So thanks again. And I also wanted to give a shout out to my team for jumping right in and assisting me when my computer was messing up. So I really do appreciate that. And a special thanks to the participants as well for your patience. Next slide. This is our team again: Pam Batchelor, Justin Connor, Cammie Naron, Tessa Hine, John Mares, Yolanda Wilson, myself, and Russell Dixon. We welcome Russell back, and also Dr. Carmela Fair, who is with the Imagine Math. Also, if you could take the time to fill out the feedback, you'll find it up in the right-hand corner, the bit.ly. We've already entered it into the chat, and if you could take your time and fill that out to give us any feedback, we sure would appreciate it. Okay, and I also wanted to mention that the next HBMU virtual schedule is planned for February 2021, and information will be sent out closer to that time. And that's it. We appreciate your participation today, and I hope you all have a good evening. Thank you again.
Audrey, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening.
Okay, have a good evening. I'm going to stop recording now.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Okay.